Hola muchachos, ¿qué tal? Buenos días. Aquí tienen el horario para hoy, miércoles, el 21 de septiembre. You guys had homework due for today. It was the guided workbook pages 27 and 28, what we started in last class. You do have two assignments due for next class. That is the dice roll game activity with stem changing verbs. Which we will do in class today, so you just need to submit that through Canvas. And then exercise 18 and the Fondo Cultural in la página 30, which also you will do during class, but again, just need to submit by next class. Daily objective: practice listening comprehension and recognition of present tense stem changing verb conjugations to be able to talk and write about your daily life and school activities. Your warm-up question for today: ¿Cuántas horas juegas videojuegos? How many hours of video games do you play? Using the stem changing verb jugar in the present tense to talk about, in this case, well, ideally not what you do at school, but what you do in your daily life. We'll go over quickly the stem changing verb conjugations on page 27 of the textbook. We'll go over the guided workbook pages 27 and 28 as well. And then for the rest of the class, you have the two homework assignments to work on, which are the dice roll game and ejercicio 18, Fondo Cultural, página 30. When you guys click on these two assignments, you'll see the instructions there in detail. It says that you need a worksheet, but you can pull up the worksheet on your phone or on a computer, a laptop, and then just write your responses out in your notebooks as we typically do. So it's not a worksheet that you need to have printed out, but just to refer to on your phone or on the laptop. And then you have an online dice roller just to make it easy to roll the die. The objective of this game is to practice the grammar of stem changing verbs in Spanish, correctly conjugating the following verbs by their person and number, right? Conjugating them in the correct form. The notes from the past couple classes on stem changing verbs is right there in the agenda under key concepts and vocabulary. Also on page 27 of the textbook. And although you have a video here that walks you through this assignment, I'll briefly go over it here with you in the agenda. So you're going to roll the die. You're going to do this 10 times. All right, you're going to do 10 rolls of the die. So you can number your paper 1 through 10. And I would skip lines in between each of them. So number your paper 1 through 10. Call this dice roll game stem changing verbs. And after you've numbered your paper 1 through 10, for each number, you're going to roll the die 2 times. The first time you roll the die, and you can use this online dice roller, and we're only going to 6. I think there's got to be a way to change that. Got to be a way to change that where it's only 6. In any case, use an online die. There are plenty of apps that you can use. Anyway, roll the die 1 time and you're going to get either a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. A 1 represents yo. If you roll a 2, the form is tu. If you roll a 3, el, ella, usted, etc. So the first time you roll the die is to figure out the subject of your conjugation. The second time you roll the die is to roll your infinitive. And I know the verbs on the worksheet are a little different. We're using these stem changing verbs, and you can go to page 27 of your textbook, although you should have this in your notes in terms of how the stem changes. For example, dormir. And poder, the stem changes from O to UE. for jugar, what we used in our warm-up earlier today, or have yet to do actually. We'll do that in just a moment. For your warm-up, the U changes to UE in jugar, right? So coming back here for just a moment to finish this off. First roll is for the form, second roll is for the infinitive, and then you're going to conjugate the verb, according to the subject that you rolled for the first time. So for example, if you rolled a 2 for the first roll, then your subject would be the to form, and then in the second roll, if you rolled a 6, then that would be the verb preferir. So you need to conjugate the verb preferir in the to form, which would be prefieres, right? Remember that there's a stem change, and then we're still using the same endings that we've been using thus far this academic year. Present tense, right? So that's step 3, and then the final sentence is to use that conjugation in a sentence. Do the best of your ability. Do the best of your ability. I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking for creativity and a perfect effort. So creativity and a perfect effort does not copy-paste a full, complete sentence from Google Translate. I'm not going to give you credit for that. You can look up words or phrases, but a full, complete sentence Google Translated, forget it. You don't need to do that, and you won't get credit for that. Be creative and create your own sentence, and it doesn't need to be a very long one. And that's step 4. So running that back, 4-step process. You're going to do this for all 10 sentences that you write. The first step is to roll the subject, 1 through 6. The second step is to roll the die to figure out your infinitive. The third step is to conjugate that verb that you rolled according to the subject that you rolled. And then once you have that conjugation, come up with a creative sentence on your own. It doesn't need to be grammatically perfect. It needs to be creative and honest, and done honestly. You and a partner can do this together. You and a partner can share the same submission. So you each will submit this respectively in Canvas. No groups of 3, in partners, y'all. In parejas, or if you prefer to do this alone, you can do that as well. Let's quickly go back to the warm-up since I forgot to do that with y'all. For your warm-up, again, the question was ¿Cuántas horas juegas videojuegos? Using the verb jugar to indicate how many hours you play of video games, either on your phone or whatever kind of platform. So first answer that question in the yo form, just like how we did our last warm-up when we were talking about how many hours of sleep you get usually throughout the week. So begin by saying, durante la semana, yo juego videojuegos por 1 hora todos los días. During the week, I play, the verb jugar in the yo form has that stem change, right? The U changes to UE, and then we're still using our regular present tense endings, o, as, a, amos, an. Yo juego videojuegos por 1 hora, for 1 hour, todos los días, every day. Then ask that question to 3 classmates. ¿Cuántas horas juegas videojuegos? And then for each person, you're going to jot down in the ella form how many hours they get, how many hours they play video games. So Vince juega, I have to fix that. Vince juega videojuegos por 1 hora y media. Vince plays video games for 1.5 hours. All right, that is your warm-up. Do that for 3 people, and there you have the question again. And then the last assignment that you guys are going to have today is Ejercicio 18, Fondo Cultural. For the sake of the length of this video, you guys can watch the video down below here for step-by-step instructions. Take a look at the example here that I provided for you, and then that too is homework for next class. So dice roll game, Ejercicio 18, and Fondo Cultural all due for next class, y'all. Okay, nos vemos en clase. Cuídate mucho. Chao.